Welcome back to another episode of Nanny Tales. People DM me their nanny stories and I tell it on their behalf. This is not my story, not my experience, but I do have some new nanny tail glasses. What do you guys think? Or should I go back to the OG nanny tail glasses? Let me know. Anyway, this nanny say I worked for a uber rich family. Mostly I only spoke with the mom, never really seen the dad. She said the mom was very strict. They live in a very beautiful home, mostly white, whole white house with ones and twos, little sprinkles of color, but nothing much. She said her first day when she got there, the mom opened the door. She was on a work call, so she just told her like, come in like this. Told her to go to the kitchen like this. Then threw a pamphlet at her she was like, read that while I'm on the call. And then the nanny like reading through. She interrupt her while she's reading. She go look at the refrigerator. That's their daily schedule. Get back on the call. So I'm like, well, this is already a bad start for me. So she said she finally get off the call and she's like, well, I want to let you know right now that work is my priority. I prioritize work. I need to work. It's what I want to do. And your job is to take care of my kids in the way I'm telling you to take care of my kids, which is in the pamphlet and on the refrigerator, the schedule. I'm not looking for you to come and do your own thing. I'm not looking for that. We actually just fired a nanny for her being unprofessional is what she said. And so the nanny like, how was she unprofessional? She said the mama kind of cut her eyes at her, almost like, bitch, what are you doing asking me a question? So she was like, well, crossing boundaries and being unprofessional. That's all I'm going to say. But I am going to say this, that you're not here to be my children's therapist. You're not here to be my children's best friend. You're here to make sure that my children are doing what I want them to do while I'm away. Wow. She was like, she was so shook. She didn't even know what to think. She just like nodded her head and said, okay. She was like, okay, well, if that's everything, I'm going to head out. And she said she just went out, didn't say bye to the kids or nothing. So she's like, now she has to go upstairs and introduce her. Well, first of all, find the kids. She's like, the house is huge. She don't even know how to get to the kids' room. The mom never showed her. So I'm like, you didn't have a house tour before? But I mean, I guess if she's working, no. So she said she was walking through, finally find like the main staircase, go up the main staircase and start seeing like book bags and shoes and all that stuff like on the floor. She's like, okay, it must be this way. She see the kids are fighting and mess around and break a vase. And now super quiet, like, well, you did it. So they thinking it's their mama walking in and it's the nanny. And so they both kind of look and she said she was all excited, like, hey, I'm your new nanny, da 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 da. And the kids just like, whatever. And she's like, she said the son was like, are we going to get in trouble for breaking this vase? And she's like, no, we could just clean it up. And then the daughter was like, yes, we are. Like, you know how mom like to keep the house perfect. And it's not going to be with a broken vase. And so the boy, like, I mean, she said, and the daughter, like, who is she? Like, she's going to be gone just like our last nanny quit in the middle of the night. And so she said she just standing there like, now she quit in the middle of the night. Your mama thinking in her head, like, your mama fired her ass. She didn't quit. And so, but she didn't give no explanation. So she's like, at this point, she's kind of trying to kind of pull out of them what happened, but not too much. And I was like, okay. So she's like, I have you guys schedule, but I am here, to make the day fun. And she's like, and the little boy was like, just follow the schedule. Like, that's just how my mom liked to do things. Just follow the schedule, and I think everything will be fine. And so the little boy was 10, little girl 5. So he's like, just follow the schedule and everything will be fine. And she was like, no, I think you guys deserve to have some fun. So she said, I see you guys have a block where you have an hour situation going on, a class or whatever. And then we could go to the park for an hour. Then we can come back and like work on like your language or whatever you have next in the day. And the little boy was like, I don't think my mom will want you to do that. I think she just wants you to follow the schedule. And she was like, no, like, I think everybody should have a little fun. And I said, well, you setting yourself up to fail. You about to be just like the woman sneaking out in the middle of the night on the midnight train to Georgia. On the midnight. Oh, man. Anyway, so she indeed starts this ritual out of the norm, she said, where she would take the kids to their morning activity, take them to the playground, bring them home, let them do, instead of 2 hours of that activity, 1 hour of the activity. And then, so she said one day she takes to the playground, a little boy fall and hurt his leg. So she's like, you know, she's feeling like Superwoman because she said that she had seen that they liked the little boy still like dinosaurs and stuff like that. So she's like, she went and got band-aids with dinosaurs on and all that stuff. So like when he fell, she like pulled the band-aids out like, oh, I got these. And he's like, oh, the last Nanny got those band-aids for me, and my mama threw them away when she quit. I say, see, you steady leading your way to the same way. You following in her footsteps. And so they put the band-aid on or whatever. I don't know if the mom never noticed the scratch or if she know. I don't know. She didn't say. So she said the day go on, and eventually the kids like, we hungry. Okay. They make dinner, wind down. So she said the days keep going. She keep doing it. So then one day the kids was like, we want pancakes for breakfast. But the mom said no pancakes. And if they have pancakes, it just need to be regular pancakes. But whatever the recipe the mom wrote, that's the pancake recipe. So she said she making pancakes with chocolate chips, with all type of stuff. Flowers everywhere, a big old mess. And she's like, you know, they're just having fun, which could be fun. She said the mom comes back home instead of being out all day. She comes home and it's pancake mix everywhere. And now she's like, I don't see this on the schedule. I'm not really sure why. So she tell the kids, like, go get yourself cleaned up. And I'll tell you guys when to come back down. So she's like, I'm not sure why, you know, what part of the schedule was this in to make chocolate chip pancakes? What did you even get the chocolate chips for? Because I don't even keep chocolate chips in this house. And then Nanny was like, oh, I just stopped. I just thought the kids would like them. And she was like, no, if the kids like them, it would be in the house. She's like, you don't think I will have the money to put chocolate chips in the house? She's like, no, I'm not saying that. She's like, we're going to stick to the schedule. We're going to stick to what I want to do with my kids because they're my kids and they're not yours. She's like, so I don't want to ever come home again and they're doing something that you want them to do that I'm telling them not to do, because what you're teaching my kids is how to defy me. And now you're becoming the fun parent. I'm like, girl, you better watch out. She's on your ass. So she said, you know, after that day, now the mom is like working from home more. She won't trust her ass. She said she working from home more. And she just started, you know, noticing or whatever. So then they stopped going to the playground or whatever. And so she said she's going through the little girl's room, like helping her straighten up. And under the little girl's pillow was a picture of her and their old nanny, the one that got fired. And she said, dang. And then the little girl was like, hey, give me that. Like, what are you looking under there for? And so she was like, oh, do you miss her or whatever? She's like, I'm not going to talk to you about that. Like, don't ever look through my stuff. Like, and I say, you know what? The little girl got a point. What is you looking through her stuff for? Talking about, do you miss her? But, so she said the mom eventually goes back to work when she, you know, see that she can follow the routine. Then, this was the final straw for the mama. She said, then one day she's at Target and she see these tie-dye shirt kits. And the mom, like, if the kids want to do any activities, art and crafts, but the arts and craft is already mapped out what they can do. They should be doing it outside by the pool with a tarp down or whatever. So she's going to get arts and crafts. She said she come home, it's, again, arts and crafts, the tie-dye stuff everywhere, different bowls of paint for them to be, you know, I mean, whatever, the tie-dye to be pouring on a shirt. She said the mom is like, as if she's seen her whooping her kids. That's how mad. She's like, no, I see what you're doing. These are my children. My children. They're not yours. And I don't know what part of you people don't understand this. You're not here to do anything I don't want to do with my kids. They're mine. They're not yours. She said she just kept yelling like, they're mine. They're not yours. They're mine. They're not yours. And she said, you're fired. Like, you can leave now. And she's like, normally I save my kids this part of the emotion to know that I fire nannies and they're not quitting. But with you, it hasn't even been, she said it wasn't even a month. But at that point, you got in your own way. You should have not accepted the job after 2 weeks of knowing that it is hard to see strict parents with kids. I don't work with them. I would have said no. So yeah, she got fired. She said in the worst way. But the mom, she said she had her money there in cash. She went out, got the money, gave her the money. And she was fired. And rightfully so. She truly did get in her own way. Because what do you mean? I'm steady telling you to do something. You steady taking it upon yourself. So I'm a fun nanny. Yeah, now you're a fired nanny.